Oh, my God.
That's impossible. I'll take it up there now.
Don't be stupid. None of them will be up for hours, and what difference will it make? Jimmy will do it when he comes in.
Thank you, Daisy. Anna.
Oh, just once in my life, I'd like to sleep until I woke up natural.
Is your fire still in?
Yes, Mrs. Patmore.
Oh, no, I will. Wonders never cease. Have you laid the servants all breakfast?
Yes, Mrs. Patmore.
And finished blocking that stove?
Yes, Mrs. Patmore.
What about the bedroom fires?
All lit, Mrs. Patmore.
Right, well, take the things and get started on the fires on the ground floor.
Now, hurry up.
Any sign of William?
No?
Where have you been?
I'm not late, am I?
You're late when I say you're late.
Daisy? Whatever are you doing there? Crouching in the dark.
You weren't here and I didn't like to touch the curtains with my dirty hands.
I'm quite right, too.
Why didn't you put the lights on?
I didn't.
Well, it's electricity, not the devil's handiwork. I'll have to get used to it sooner or later.
Skeleton Park have even got it in the kitchens.
What for?
Breakfast is ready, Mr. Carson.
Yeah, William. Any papers yet?
They're late.
They certainly are. Get the board out so you can do them as soon as they're here.
Is the library tidy?
Yes, Mrs. Hughes.
Good. I want the dining room given a proper going over today. You can do it when they've finished their breakfast. Oh, heavens, girl! You're building a fire, not inventing it. How many have you done?
This is my last till they come downstairs.
Very well. Now get back down to the kitchens before anyone sees you.
And they're off.
No rest for the wicked?
Lady Mary, are the tea trays ready?
All ready, Mrs. Patmore. If the water's boiled. Could you give us a hand to take the other two up?
I've got a ladyship's to carry.
I'll help.
Back door.
Papers at last. William?
You're late.
Yeah, I know, but
But what?
you'll see.
Do the Times first. He only reads that at breakfast. Yeah, and the sketch for her ladyship. You can manage the others later if need be.
Why are the papers ironed?
That's
What's it to you?
To dry the ink, silly. We wouldn't want his lordship's hands to be as black as yours.
Mr. Carson, I think you ought to see this.
I can't make myself believe it.
Me neither.
His lordship's dressed.
William, will you stop talking and take this kedgeree up? And mind the burners are still lit.
Yes, Mrs. Patmore.
Is it really true?
Afraid so.
Nothing in life is sure.
Morning, Carson.
Good morning, my lord.
Is it true what they're saying?
I believe so, my lord.
I'm afraid we'll know some people on it. I don't suppose there are any lists of survivors yet.
I understand most of the ladies were taken off in time.
You mean the ladies in first class? God help the poor devils below decks. On their way to a better life. What a tragedy.
When Anna told me, I thought she must have dreamt it. Do we know anyone on board?
Your mother knows the Astors, at least she knows him. We dined with Lady Rothes last month. There are bound to be others.
I thought it was supposed to be unsinkable.
Every mountain is unclimbable until someone climbs it, so every ship is unsinkable until it sinks.
Good morning, Papa.
Morning. What's that?
Just arrived. Telegram.
Is her ladyship awake?
Yes, my lord. I'm just going to take in her breakfast.
Thank you. May I come in?
Isn't this terrible? When you think how excited Lucy Rothes was at the prospect, it's too awful for any words. Did J.J. Astor get off? Of course, that new wife of his is found to have been rescued.
I've had a telegram from George Murray. One of his partners is in New York.
Yes?
It seems James and Patrick were on board.
What? They can't have been. They weren't going over till May.
Then they changed their plans. They're definitely on the passenger list.
Thank you, O'Brien. That'll be all for the moment. But surely they were picked up.
Doesn't look like it.
What? Neither of them. You must tell Mary. She can't hear about it from anyone else.
Neither of them were picked up. That's what he said.
Mr. Crawley and Mr. Patrick.
That's what he said. Her ladyship was the colour of this cloth.
Well, it's a terrible shame if it's true.
It's worse than a shame. It's a complication.
What do you mean?
What do you think? Mr. Crawley was his lordship's cousin and heir to the title.
Well, but I thought Lady Mary was the heir.
She's a girl, stupid. Girls can't inherit. But now Mr. Crawley's dead and Mr. Patrick was his only son. So what happens next?
It's a dreadful thing.
Hello? I've been waiting at the back door. I knocked, but no one came.
So you pushed in?
I'm John Bates, the new valet.
The new valet?
That's right.
You're early.
Came on the milk train. Thought I'd use the day to get to know the place. Start tonight.
I'm Anna, the head housemaid.
How do you do?
And I'm Miss O'Brien, her ladyship's maid. You better come along with us.
But how can you manage?
Don't worry about that. I can manage.
Because we've all got our own work to do.
I can manage.
All right, Mrs. Hughes, I'll take over. Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Bates. Welcome. I hope your journey was satisfactory.
It was fine, thank you.
I am the butler at Downton. My name is Carson.
How do you do, Mr. Carson?
This is Thomas, first footman. He's been looking after his lordship since Mr. Watson left. It'll be a relief to get back to normal, won't it, Thomas? I assume that everything is ready for Mr. Bates's arrival.
I've put him in Mr. Watson's old room, though he left it in quite a state, I can tell you.
But what about over upstairs?
I keep telling you, I can manage.
Of course you can.
Thomas, take Mr. Bates to his room, show him where he'll be working. Thank you, everyone.
Well, I can't see that lasting long.
Thank you, Miss O'Brien.
Oh, yes. I shall be comfortable here.
Does this mean I'll have to go into full mourning?
My first cousin and his son are almost certainly dead. We will all be in mourning.
No. I mean with the other thing. After all, it wasn't official.
If you're saying you do not wish to mourn Patrick as a fiancé, that is up to you.
Well, no one knew about it outside the family.
I repeat, it is up to you.
Well, that's a relief.
There's some cedar-lined cupboards in the attics for things that aren't often worn, travelling clothes and such. Mr. Watson used them to rotate the summer and winter stuff. I'll show you later.
What about studs and links? Do I choose them or does he?
Lay them out unless he asks for something in particular. These for a ball, these for an ordinary dinner. These only in London.
I'll get the hang of it.
Yeah, you'll have to. Stuff boxes. He collects them.
Beautiful. Funny our job, isn't it?
What do you mean?
Way we live with all this pirates' hoard within our reach. But none of it's ours, is it?
No, none of it's ours. I can't believe I've been passed over for Long John Silver.
You should have spoken up when you had the chance. Don't make the same mistake next time.
Who says there'll be a next time?
Is this a public holiday no one's told me of?
She was certainly reluctant to go into mourning.
Well, she'll have to. We all will. O'Brien's sorting out my black now, and I've told Anna to see what the girls have that still fits. Of course, this alters everything. You won't try to deny it. You must challenge the entail now, surely.
Can't we at least wait until we know they're dead before we discuss it?
Don't talk as if I'm not broken-hearted, because I am. Of course, I've never understood why this estate must go to whomever inherits your title.
My dear, I don't make the law. What is it?
The Dowager Countess is in the drawing room.
I'll come now.
She asked for Lady Grantham.
I wonder what I've done wrong this time.
And the new valet has arrived, my lord.
Has he? Thank you, Carson. What is it?
I'm not entirely sure that he'll prove equal to the task, but your lordship will be the judge of that.
Better go.
Tell her about James and Patrick. She won't have heard.
Of course I've heard. Why else would I be here?
Robert didn't want you to read about it in a newspaper and be upset.
He flatters me. I'm tougher than I look. I'm very sorry about poor Patrick, of course. He was a nice boy.
We were all so fond of him.
But I never cared for James. He was too like his mother, and a nastier woman never drew breath.
Will you stay for some luncheon?
Thank you.
I'll let Carson know.
I've already told him. Shall we sit down? Do you know the new heir?
Only that there is one.
He's Robert's third cousin, once removed. I have never, to my knowledge, set eyes on him.
Of course, if your late husband hadn't forced me to sign that absurd act of legal theft.
My dear, I didn't come here to fight. Lord Grantham wanted to protect the estate. It never occurred to him that you wouldn't have a son.
Well, I didn't.
No, you did not. But when Patrick had married Mary and your grandson been hailed as master, honour would have been satisfied. Unfortunately, now...
Now, a complete unknown has the right to pocket my money, along with the rest of the swag.
The problem is saving your dowry would break up the estate. It would be the ruin of everything Robert's given his life to.
And he knows this?
Well, if he doesn't, he will.
Then there's no answer.
Yes, there is, and it's a simple one. The entail must be smashed in its entirety, and Mary recognized as heiress of all.
There's nothing we can do about the title.
No. She can't have the title, but she can have your money and the estate. I didn't run Downton for 30 years. To see it go, lock, stock and barrel to a stranger from God knows where.
Are we
We are allies, my dear, which can be a good deal more effective.
Downton is a great house, Mr. Bates, and the Crawleys are a great family. We live by certain standards, and those standards can at first seem daunting.
Of course.
If you find yourself tongue-tied in the presence of his lordship, I can only assure you that his manners and grace will soon help you to perform your duties to the best of your ability.
I know.
Bates, my dear fellow, I do apologise. I should have realised you'd all be at lunch.
Not at all, my lord.
Please sit, everyone. I just want to say a quick hello to my old comrade in arms. Bates, my dear man, welcome to Downton.
Thank you, sir.
I'm so sorry to have disturbed you all. Please forgive me.
You never asked.
Thomas, take that up. Leave it, Daisy. He's a grown man. I suppose he can lift a meat pie. Now, put that apple tart in the lower oven. Oh, and take that away. Mr. Lynch shouldn't have left it there.
What is it?
Salt of sorrow. I asked him for some to clean the brass pot. So, put it somewhere careful. It's poison.
Seems like a lot of food when you think they're all in mourning.
Nothing makes you hungrier or more tired than grief. When my sister died, God rest her soul, I ate my way through 4 platefuls of sandwiches at one sitting and slept round the clock.
Did it make you feel better?
Not much, but it passed the time. Oh, my Lord, what was this chopped egg supposed to be sprinkled on?
Was it the chicken?
It was. Take it upstairs now. Thomas or William and tell them what to do. And for heaven's sake, get a move on, girl, before they get back from church.
Well, we've given them a memorial in London and a memorial here.
I prefer memorials to funerals. They're less dispiriting.
We could hardly have held a funeral without the bodies.
I gather they're putting up a stone to mark those whose bodies were never found. In fact, I hear the Canadians are making quite a thing of the Titanic cemetery. I'm surprised at the number they found. You'd think the sea would have taken more of them.
So, Murray, what have you to tell me about the lucky Mr. Crawley? Nothing too terrible, I hope.
I've only made a few inquiries, but no, there's not much to alarm you. Matthew Crawley is a solicitor based in Manchester.
Manchester?
His special field is company law. His mother is alive and he lives with her. His father obviously is not. He was a doctor.
I know. It does seem odd that my third cousin should be a doctor.
There are worse professions.
Indeed.
Do me a favour. This is supposed to be sprinkled on the chicken.
Isn't there more to go?
Oh, please, it won't take a moment.
Go on, mate, give it here.
We ought to talk about the business of the entail. As you know, on your death, the heir to the title inherits everything, except for the sums set aside for your daughters and your widow.
Yes.
Owing to the terms of her settlement, this will include the bulk of your wife's fortune.
It has been our sole topic of conversation since the day the ship went down.
Of course, it must seem horribly unjust to Lady Grantham, but that is how the law stands.
Is there really no way to detach her money from the estate? Even to me, it seems absurd.
Your father tied the knots pretty tight. I'd say it's unbreakable.
I see.
Really, Edith? Do you have to put on such an exhibition?
She's not.
I was supposed to be engaged to him, for heaven's sake, not you. And I can control myself. Then you should be ashamed.
Oh, and don't tell me you've not sent up the egg yet.
Oh, God, help me! Please, God, help me!
Oh, what on earth's the matter?
Just run upstairs to the dining room and find William. I beg you.
I can't do that now.
You've got to. I'll be hanged if you don't.
What? Daisy, is that you? Is it the chicken in a sauce or the plain chicken with sliced oranges?
Oh, thank you, blessed and merciful Lord. Thank you. It's a chicken in the sauce. I'll never do anything sinful again. I swear it, not till I die.
Mr. Murray, how lovely to see you. Do come in.
You're very kind, Lady Grantham, but I must get back to London.
But you'll stay for luncheon.
Thank you, but no, I'll eat on the train. In fact, if you'd be so good as to ask for the motor to be brought round.
But didn't you want the afternoon to talk things through?
I think we've said everything we have to say, haven't we, my lord?
For the time being, yes. Thank you, Murray. You've given me a good deal to think about.
Mary, try to get everyone into the dining room. Edith, make sure old Lord Minturn sits down.
Mm-hmm.
They've all gone?
Well, they have, thank the Lord.
What about the lawyer?
Oh, he was the first away. Didn't even stay for the luncheon.
I wish they'd make their minds up. Gwen's put clean sheets on the blue room bed. Now she'll just have to strip it again.
Can't you leave it for the next guest?
Well, only if you don't tell. So, has it all been settled?
No, I don't know if anything's been settled. There's a fella in Manchester with claims to the title, I gather, but it's all a long way from settled.
You mustn't take it personally.
Oh, I do take it personally, Mrs. Hughes. I can't stand by and watch our family threatened with the loss of all they hold dear.
They're not our family.
Well, they're all the family I've got. I beg your pardon.
Do you ever wish you'd gone another way? Worked in a shop or a factory, had a wife and children?
Do you?
I don't know. Maybe. Sometimes.
William's laid tea in the library, but her ladyship hasn't come down.
Oh, she'll be tired. Take a tray up to her bedroom.
Is Thomas back?
Not yet, Mr. Casson.
He asked if he could run down the village. I didn't see why not.
It's iniquitous. They can't expect you to sit by silent as your fortune is stolen away.
Can't they?
His lordship had never let it happen.
How's Bates working out?
Well, I don't like to say. Only it seems unkind to criticise a man for an affliction, my lady. Even if it means he can't do his job.
How are you settling in?
Very well, I think. Unless your lordship feels differently.
No complaints?
If I had any, I should take them to Mr. Carson, my lord, not you.
You're probably right. And the house hasn't worn you out with the endless stairs and everything.
I like the house, my lord. I like it as a place to work.
What happened?
Oh, it's only the old wound. After I left the army, I had a spot of bother, and just when I got through that about a year ago, my knee started playing up. A bit of shrapnel got left in or something, and it moved, but it's fine. It's not a problem.
And you'd let me know if you felt it was all too much for you?
I would, but it won't be.
And where have you been?
The village. Send a telegram if you must know.
Oh, pardon me for living. Well, Murray didn't stay long.
Does her ladyship know how they left it?
No, they talked it all through on the way back from the church.
If I was still his valet, I'd get it out of him.
Bates won't say a word.
He will not. I bet your Tanner he's a spy in the other direction. I wanted that job. We were all right together, his lordship and me.
Then be sure to get your foot in the door when Bates is gone.
Can't get rid of him just because he talks behind our backs.
There's more than one way to skin a cat.
Perhaps she misunderstood.
No, it was quite plain. O'Brien told her Bates can't do the job properly. Why was he taken on?
Oh, he was Lord Grantham's Batman when he was fighting the Boers.
I know that, but even so.
I think it's romantic.
I don't. How can a valet do his work if he's lame?
He's not very lame. There. Anything else before I go down?
No, that's it. Thank you. Oh, I hate black.
It's not for long. Mamma says we can go into half mourning next month and back to colours by September.
Still seems a lot for a cousin.
But not a fiancé.
He wasn't really a fiancé.
No? I thought that was what you call a man you're going to marry.
I was only going to marry him if nothing better turned up.
Mary, what a horrid thing to say.
Don't worry. Edith would have taken him, wouldn't you?
Yes. I'd have taken him. If you'd given me the chance, I'd have taken him like a shot.
I just think you'd know it's not working, Mr. Carson.
Do you mean Mr. Bates is lazy?
Not lazy, exactly. But he just can't carry. He can hardly manage his lordship's cases. You saw how it was when he went up to London for the memorial. He can't help with the guest luggage neither, and as for waiting at table, we can forget that.
And what do you want me to do?
Well, it's not for me to say. But is it fair and willing to have all the extra work? I don't believe you'd like to think the house was falling below the way things ought to be.
I would not.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm going down. Coming.
In a moment. You go.
know you're sad about Patrick. Whatever you say, I know it.
You're a darling. But you see, I'm not as sad as I should be. And that's what makes me sad.
Thank you. I'll do that.
No, no, thank you, my lord. I can do it.
I'm sure.
I hope so, my lord. I hope you are sure.
Bates, we have to be sensible. I won't be doing you a favour in the long run if it's too much for you. No matter what we've been through, it's got to work.
Of course it has, sir. I mean, my lord.
Do you miss the army, Bates?
I miss a lot of things, but you have to keep moving, don't you?
You do indeed.
I'll show you, my lord, I promise. I won't let you down. We've managed so far, haven't we?
Yes, we have. Of course we have. You look very nice.
Thank you, Dad. Did Murray make matters clearer?
Yes, I'm afraid he did.
By the way, O'Brien says Bates is causing a lot of awkwardness downstairs. You may have to do something about it.
She's always making trouble.
Is that fair? And she hasn't mentioned it before now.
I don't know why you listen to her.
It is quite eccentric, even for you, to have a crippled valet.
Please, don't use that word.
Did he tell you he couldn't walk when he made his application?
Don't exaggerate.
Doesn't it strike you as dishonest not to mention it?
I knew he'd been wounded.
You never said.
You know I don't care to talk about all that.
Of course, I understand what it must be like to have fought alongside someone in a war.
Oh, you understand that, do you?
Certainly I do. You must form the most tremendous bonds, even with a servant.
Really? Even with a servant?
Oh, Robert, don't catch me out. I'm simply saying I fully see why you want to help him.
But
But is this the right way to employ him for a job he can't do? Is it any wonder if the others' noses are put out?
I just want to give him a chance. Mama, I'm sorry. No one told me you were here.
Such a glare. I feel as if I were on stage at the Gaiety.
We're used to it. I do wish you'd let me install it in the Dower House. It's very convenient. The man who manages the generator could look after yours as well.
No, I couldn't have electricity in the house. I wouldn't sleep a wink. All those vapours seeping about.
Even Cora won't have it in the bedroom. She did wonder about the kitchens, but I couldn't see the point.
Well, before anyone joins us, I'm glad of this chance for a little talk. I gather Murray was here today?
News travels fast. Yes, I saw him, and he's not optimistic that there's anything we can do. Be that as it may, it's a fact.
But to lose Cora's fortune...
Really, Mama, you know as well as I do that Cora's fortune is not Cora's fortune anymore. Thanks to Papa, it is now part of the estate. And the estate is entailed to my heir. That is it. That is all of it.
Robert, dear, I don't mean to sound harsh.
You may not mean to, but I bet you will.
24 years ago, you married Cora against my wishes for her money. Give it away now. What was the point of your peculiar marriage in the first place?
If I were to tell you she'd made me very happy, would that stretch belief?
It's not why you chose her. Above all those other girls who could have filled my shoes so easily.
If you must know, when I think of my motives for pursuing Cora, I'm ashamed. There's no need to remind me of them.
Don't you care about Downton?
What do you think? I've given my life to Downton. I was born here, and I hope to die here. I claim no career beyond the nurture of this house and the estate. It is my third parent and my fourth child. Do I care about it? Yes, I do care.
Hope I don't hear sounds of a disagreement.
Oh, is that what they call discussion in New York?
Well, I'm glad you're fighting. I'm glad somebody's putting up a fight.
You're not really fighting, Granny, are you, Papa?
Your grandmother merely wishes to do the right thing, and so do I.
Dinner is served, my lady.
Does anyone else keep dreaming about the Titanic? I can't get it out of my mind.
Not again. Give it a rest.
Daisy, it's time to let it go.
But all them people freezing to death in the midnight icy water.
Oh, you sound like a penny dreadful.
I expect you saw worse things in South Africa, eh, Mr. Bates?
Not worse, but pretty bad.
Did you enjoy the war?
I don't think anyone enjoys war, but there's some good memories too.
I'm sure there are.
Mr. Bates, could you hand me that tray?
I'll do it.
Ladies are out. We're giving them coffee. His lordship's taking his port to the library. Anna, Gwen, go up and help clear away. Daisy, tell Mrs. Patmore we'll eat in 15 minutes.
What I keep forgetting, does this go next door or back to the kitchen?
Those go back, but the dessert service and all the glasses stay in the upstairs pantry.
Put it on here.
What is it?
Her ladyship's told him she thinks Mr. Bates ought to go. She said to me, if only his lordship had been content with Thomas.
Did she really?
What are you doing up here?
It's a free country.
Oh, I'm going for my dinner. You two can stay here, plotting.
So, the young Duke of Crowborough is asking himself to stay.
And we know why.
You hope you know why. That is not at all the same. You realise the Duke thinks Mary's prospects have altered.
I suppose so.
There's no suppose about it. Of course, this is exactly the sort of opportunity that will come to Mary if we can only get things settled in her favour. Is Robert coming round?
Not yet. To him, the risk is we succeed in saving my money, but not the estate. He feels he'd be betraying his duty if Downton were...
Well, I'm going to write to Murray.
He won't say anything different.
Well, we have to start somewhere. Our duty is to Mary. Well, give him a date for when Mary's out of mourning. No one wants to kiss a girl in black.
Oh, do stop admiring yourself. He's not marrying you for your looks. That's if he wants to marry you at all.
He will. I think you look beautiful.
Thank you, Sybil, darling.
We should go down. They'll be back from the station at any moment. Let's not gild the lily, dear. And Mary, try to look surprised.
You all ready? Very well. We should go out to greet them.
And me, Mr. Carson.
No, Daisy, not you. Can you manage, Mr. Bates, or would you rather wait here?
I want to go, Mr. Carson.
There's no obligation for the whole staff to be present.
I'd like to be there.
Well, it's certainly a great day for Downton to welcome a duke under our roof.
Remember to help me with the luggage. Don't go running off.
I'll give you a hand.
Oh, we couldn't ask that, Mr. Bates. Not in your condition. How long do we have to put up with this, Mr. Carson? Just so I know.
Welcome to Downton.
Lady Grantham, this is so kind of you.
Not at all, Duke. We're delighted you could spare the time. You know my daughter Mary, of course.
Of course,
and
Lady Mary.
Edith, but I don't believe you've met my youngest, Sybil.
Ah, Lady Sybil.
How do you do? Come on in. You must be worn out.
Oh, Lady Grantham, I have a confession to make, which I hope won't cause too much bother. My man was taken ill just as I was leaving, so I...
Oh, well, that won't be a problem, will it, Carson? Certainly not. I shall look after His Grace myself.
Oh, no, I wouldn't dream of being such a nuisance. Surely a footman. I remember this man. Didn't you serve me when I dined with Lady Grantham in London?
I did, Your Grace.
Ah, there we are. We shall do very well together, won't we?
Thomas, Your Grace.
Thomas.
Good. Hope you had a pleasant journey.
Bates, you all right?
Perfectly, my lord. I apologize.
Mr. Bates. That's better.
Please, don't feel sorry for me.
What shall we do? What would you like to do?
I think I'd rather like to go exploring.
Certainly. Gardens or house?
Oh, house, I think. Gardens are all the same to me.
Very well. We can begin in the hall, which is one of the oldest...
No, not all those drawing rooms and libraries.
Well, what then?
I don't know, the secret passages and the attics.
Well, it seems a bit odd, but why not? I'll just tell Mama.
No, don't tell your mama.
But there's nothing wrong in it.
No, indeed, I'm only worried the others will want to join us.
Mary's settling him in.
Cora, don't let Mary make a fool of herself. By the way, I'll be going up to London next week.
Do you want to open the house?
No, I'll just take Bates and stay at the club. I won't be more than a day or two.
I see. Are things progressing?
What things? It's just a regimental dinner.
It's a pity Bates spoiled the arrival this afternoon.
He didn't spoil anything. He fell over.
So undignified. Carson hates that kind of thing.
I don't care what Carson thinks.
A message from the Dowager Countess, milady. She says she won't come to tea, but she'll join you for dinner.
Oh, Carson, I hope you weren't embarrassed this afternoon. I can assure you the Duke very much appreciated his welcome.
I'm glad.
Is Bates all right?
I think so, my lord.
Must be so difficult for you all the same.
Don't stir.
Do you realise this is the first time we've ever been alone?
Then you've forgotten when I pulled you into the conservatory at the Northbrooks. How sad.
No, I haven't. It's not quite the same with 20 chaperones hiding behind every fern.
And are you pleased to be alone with me, my lady?
Dear, if I answer truthfully, you'll think me rather forward. I don't think we should pry. It feels rather disrespectful.
No nonsense. It's your father's house, isn't it? You've a right to know what goes on in it. Where does this lead?
To the men's quarters, with the lock on the women's side. Only Mrs. Hughes is allowed to turn it.
Mrs. Hughes? And you? And here?
A footman, I imagine. Should you do that?
Why not? I'm making a study on the genus footman. I seek to know the creature's ways.
Someone's coming.
help you, my lady?
We were just exploring.
Were you looking for Thomas, Your Grace?
No, as Lady Mary said, we've just been exploring.
Would you care to explore my room, my lady?
Of course not, Bates. I'm sorry to have bothered you. We were just going down.
Why did you apologize to that man? It's not his business what we do.
I always apologize when I'm in the wrong. It's a habit of mine.
The plain fact is, Mr. Bates, through no fault of his own, is not able to fulfill the extra duties expected of him. He can't lift, he can't serve at table, he's dropping things all over the place. On a night like tonight, he should act as a third footman. As it is, my lord, we may have to have a maid in the dining room.
Cheer up, Carson. There are worse things happening in the world.
Not worse than a maid serving a duke.
So you're quite determined?
It's a hard decision, your lordship. A very hard decision. But the honour of Downton is at stake.
Don't worry, Carson. I know all about hard decisions when it comes to the honour of Downton. Don't I, boy?
William, you mustn't let Thomas take advantage. He's only a footman, same as you.
It's all right, Mrs. Hughes. I like to keep busy. It takes your mind off things.
What things have you got to take your mind off? If you're feeling homesick, there's no shame in it.
No.
Means you come from a happy home. There's plenty of people here would envy that.
Yes, Mrs. Hughes.
Will that be all, my lord?
Yes. That is, not exactly. Have you recovered from your fall this afternoon?
I'm very sorry about that, my lord. I don't know what happened.
The thing is, Bates, I said I'd give you a trial, and I have. If it were only up to me. It's this question of a valet's extra duties.
You mean waiting at table when there's a large party?
That, and carrying things, and... You do see that Carson can't be expected to compromise the efficiency of his staff.
I do, my lord. Of course I do. Might I make a suggestion? That when an extra footman is required, the cost could come out of my wages.
Absolutely not. I couldn't possibly allow that.
Because I am very eager to stay, my lord. Very eager indeed.
I know you are. And I was eager that this should work.
You see, it is unlikely that I should find another position.
But surely in a smaller house where less is expected of you.
It's not likely.
I mean to help until you find something.
I couldn't take your money, my lord. I can take wages for a job done, that's all. Very good, my lord. I'll go at once.
There's no need to rush out into the night. Take the London train tomorrow. It leaves at 9. You'll have a month's wages, too. That I insist on. It's a bloody business, Bates, but I can't see any way around it.
I quite understand, my lord.
I'm afraid we're rather a female party tonight, Duke. But you know what it's like trying to balance numbers in the country. A single man outranks the Holy Grail.
No, I'm terribly flattered to be dining en famille.
What were you and Mary doing in the attics this afternoon?
I expect Mary was just showing the Duke the house. Weren't you?
Are you a student of architecture?
Absolutely.
And I do hope you'll come and inspect my little cottage. It was designed by Wren for the first Earl's sister.
The attics?
Yes. Mary took the Duke up to the attics.
Whatever for?
Where was this, dear?
We were just looking around.
Looking around? What is there to look at but servants' rooms? What was the real reason?
Don't be such a chatterbox, Edith.
I think we'll go through. I still don't understand.
Will you hold your tongue?
How long do you think they'll be? I'm starving.
Have you settled the ladies?
Yes, Mr. Carson.
Then it won't be long once they go through.
Do you think he'll speak out? Do you think we'll have a duchess to wait on? Imagine that.
You won't be waiting on her, whatever happens.
There is no reason why the eldest daughter and heiress of the Earl of Grantham should not wear a duchess's coronet with honour.
Heiress, Mr. Carson. Has it been... Well, we'll know soon enough.
What are you doing, Anna?
I thought I'd take something up to Mr. Bates. Him not being well enough to come down. You don't mind, do you, Mrs. Hughes?
I don't mind. Not this once.
No, take him, whatever he might need. Mr. Bates is leaving without a stain on his character. I hope you all observe that in the manner of your parting.
I don't see why he has to go. I don't mind doing a bit of extra...
It's not up to you. I'll take care of his lordship, shall I, Mr. Carson?
Not while you're looking after the Duke, you won't. I'll see to his lordship myself.
Mr. Bates? Are you there? I brought something up, in case you're hungry.
That's very kind.
I'm ever so sorry you're going.
I'll be all right.
Of course you will. There's always a place for a man like you.
Oh, yes. Something will turn up.
Tell us, when you're fixed, just drop us a line. Else I'll worry.
Well, we can't have that.
We must go and let the servants get in here.
I should be grateful if we could stay just a minute more. I have something to ask you. I was terribly sorry to hear about your cousins.
You said? Did you know them?
Not well. I used to see Patrick Crawley at the odd thing. I imagine it will mean some adjustments for you all. To lose 2 heirs in one night is terrible.
Indeed, it was terrible.
Awful. But then again, it's an ill wind. At least, Lady Mary's prospects must have rather improved.
Have they?
Haven't they?
I will not be coy and pretend I do not understand your meaning. though you seem very informed on this family's private affairs. But you ought perhaps to know that I do not intend to fight the entail, not any part of it.
You can't be serious.
It pains me to say it, but I am.
You'll give up your entire estate, your wife's money into the bargain, to a perfect stranger. You won't even put up a fight.
I hope he proves to be perfect, but I rather doubt it.
Huh. Very odd thing to joke about.
No odder than this conversation. So, there you have it. But Mary will still have her settlement, which you won't find ungenerous.
I'm sorry.
I only meant that her portion, when she marries, will be more than respectable. You'll be pleased, I promise you.
Oh, heavens. I hope I haven't given the wrong impression.
You know very well the impression.
My dear Lord Grantham,
Don't, my dear Lord Grantham, me. You knew what you were doing when you came here. You encouraged Mary, all of us, to think...
Forgive me, but I came to express my sympathies and my friendship. Nothing more. Lady Mary's a charming person. Whoever marries her will be a lucky man. He will not, however, be me.
I see. And what was it you asked me to stay behind to hear?
I forget.
Aren't you coming into the drawing room?
I'm tired. I think I'll just slip away. Please make my excuses.
I'm afraid I've worn you out. Tomorrow we can just...
I'm leaving in the morning. Good night. Oh, you might tell that footman...
Thomas.
Thomas, you might tell him I've gone up.
So he slipped the hook.
At least I'm not fishing with no bait.
I don't believe that.
Well, believe what you like. He won't break the entail. The unknown cousin gets everything, and Mary's inheritance will be the same as it always was.
Oh, how was I to know when the lawyer
you weren't
turned up,
there.
I thought?
You did the right thing to telegraph me. It's just not going to come off.
So what now?
Well, you know how I'm fixed. I have to have an heiress. If it means going to New York to find one.
What about me?
You will wish me well.
You said you'd find me a job if I wanted to leave.
Do you?
I want to be a valet. I'm sick of being a footman.
Yeah, Thomas, I don't need a valet. I thought you were getting rid of the new one here.
Well, I've done it, but I'm not sure Carson's going to let me take over. I want to be with you.
I just can't see it working, can you? We don't seem to have the basis of a servant-master relationship, do we?
You came here to be with me.
Among other reasons. And one swallow doesn't make a summer.
Are you forgetting something?
What? Are you threatening me? Because of a youthful dalliance? A few weeks of madness in a London season, you wouldn't hold that against me, surely.
I would if I have to.
And who'll believe a greedy footman over the words of a duke? If you're not careful, you'll end up behind bars.
I've got proof.
You mean these? You know, my mother's always telling me never put anything in writing. And now, thanks to you, I never will again.
How did you get them? You bastard.
Don't be a bad loser, Thomas. Go to bed. Unless you want to stay.
I think I'll turn in.
No big announcement then?
No, all likely to be. He's off on the 9 o'clock train.
He never is. And when we've had a turkey killed for tomorrow's dinner, I wonder what she did wrong.
She did nothing wrong, not from the way his lordship was talking.
So his grace turned out to be graceless.
Good night, Mrs. Hughes.
Good night, Mr. Carson.
If you knew that was your decision, why put Mary through it?
But I didn't know it was my decision, my final decision, until tonight. But I find I cannot ruin the estate or hollow out the title for the sake of Mary, even with a better man than that.
I try to understand, I just can't.
Well, why should you? Downton is in my blood and in my bones. It's not in yours. And I can no more be the cause of its destruction than I could betray my country. Besides, how was I to know he wouldn't take her without the money?
Don't pretend to be a child because it suits you.
Do you think she would have been happy with a fortune hunter?
She might have been. I was.
Have you been happy? Really, have I made you happy?
Yes. That is, since you fell in love with me, which, if I remember correctly, was about a year after we were married.
Not a year. Not as long as that. But it wouldn't have happened for Mary.
Why not?
Because I am so much nicer than the Duke of Crowborough.
I'll be the judge of that. Just don't think I'm going to let it rest, Robert. I haven't given up by any means.
I must do what my conscience tells me.
So must I. And I don't want you to think I'll let it rest.
My lord, would it be acceptable for Bates to ride in front with Taylor? Otherwise, it means getting the other car out. He and his grace are catching the same train.
Perfectly acceptable. And if his grace doesn't like it, he can lump it.
You've been so kind, Lady Grantham. Thank you.
Goodbye, Duke.
You'll make my farewells to your delightful daughters?
They'd have been down if they'd known you were leaving so soon.
Alas, something's come up which has taken me quite by surprise.
Obviously.
Well, Grantham, this has been a highly enjoyable interlude.
Has it? I feared it had proved a disappointment.
Not at all, not at all. A short stay in your lovely house has driven away my cares.
We ought to go, my lord, if his grace is to catch the train.
Goodbye, Bates. And good luck.
Good luck to you, my lord.
get out, Bates.
I really mustn't be late.
Get back inside, and we'll say no more about it. It wasn't right, Carson. I just didn't think it was right.
First postman. Thank you, Ellen. One for you.
Thank you, Mother. It's from Lord Grantham.
Really? What on earth does he want?
He wants to change our lives.